AKs in California. Today we're going to talk about this has been a highly requested video. I have previously done a video on AR-15s in California, on what you can, what you can't get, some of my opinions on the various different types of compliance with the law. I want to be very clear with you before we get going into this. I personally do not care if you comply with the law. I'm just describing what the law is and what you can legally get. What you choose to do in the freedom of your own home, I don't care. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Ultimately, I won't stop you from doing what you want to do with your life. Now, that being said, let's talk about AK-47s or AKMs or AK-74s or whatever it is that the AK purists are going to get mad at me for calling it in a minute. Before we get going, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video. It's TacPack. They are a subscription service that sends out all kinds of cool little gadgets every month. If you're the kind of person that likes getting gear sent to them monthly, this is an excellent service for you. If you don't have the disposable income, I know times are tough right now. Do not feel obligated to buy it. But they actually, this month, one of the things that they sent in the TacPack subscription was a punch set and a hammer set. This came in handy immediately when I got it because it came in the same day that I picked up my Zastava ZPAP M70. And when I wanted to swap off the handguard that was originally polymer on the top and bottom and the stock, I had to use a hammer to get things to fit because AKs tend to not have any sort of standard because AKs are typically made in foreign countries by child laborers. Don't quote me on that. So, TacPack, thank you for supporting this video. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you use code Reno, I think it is. If I'm wrong, I'll put it down in the description. I think you get like a free swag bag or something. I honestly don't know, but I get like $2 if you use it. But thank you, TacPack. So let's talk about AKs in the state of California. It's pretty simple when it comes to rifles. When it comes to pistols, it gets a whole lot more complicated. And when it gets to shotguns that are AK style in California, it's probably not worth it. But let's kind of jump into it in order, I guess. So what can you actually buy? Well, it's fairly simple when it comes to the assault weapon ban. If you know anything about that, you have to worry about assault weapons that are banned by features, meaning like this AK can be considered featureless because it has a fin grip on it, doesn't have a stock, it's got the whole neutered features on it. Well, in addition to the feature-based bans, some AKs are actually banned specifically by name in the state of California. I'm going to have a list to the Roberti Ruse and the Locklear Kiesler, whatever it is. There's two lists, basically, in the state of California that you have to worry about. Make sure the AK that you want to buy is not specifically named on that list. Now, for the most part, all new AKs, except for a few, which I will talk about in just a second, are going to be fine. So the current production Wassers are fine, the current production ZPAPs, basically anything sold by Atlantic Firearms that they import, anything sold by Century Arms, anything sold by Palmetto State Armory, anything sold by most of the big manufacturers are fine. The specific one that you're going to potentially run into some issue with in the state of California if you try to buy that's a current model that's still produced is the Arsenal SLR series or the SGL series. In the state of California, because when you look at the banned by name list under Arsenal as the manufacturer, it says SLR and then in parentheses all. Now, this is a little bit of a source of controversy. There was, I believe, a court case that determined that the all was too vague and was unconstitutional because of the vagueness of the SLR all classification of model. Now, I know people as recent as 2018 and 2019 have successfully purchased an Arsenal SLR 107R or an Arsenal SLR series AK. On the DROS in the state of California, they put SLR 107. They put the whole thing. I know for a fact if you put in the model section just Arsenal as the make and then model just SLR, it will automatically not allow that DROS to go through because it says that's banned by name. People have successfully DROSed the SLR 107-R or whatever the specific model is. Do I recommend that? Personally, I just wouldn't because the issues come from this. Most gun stores don't know about that. Most gun stores might not be comfortable doing it. I personally wouldn't even be comfortable doing it because who knows if you're going to be the next court case that goes up to the Ninth Circuit and ruins your life because you wanted a gun that has a very weak finish that bubbles off when you shoot it. I'm just joking, Arsenal fanboys, please don't roast me too hard. AKs are not my strong suit. I'm just clowning with you. I'm clowning with you. We're together. We're doing this together. But generally, when it comes to the Arsenal SLR series or any of them that are banned by name, regardless of whether or not it might be okay to dross, I just personally wouldn't, because there are options out there that fulfill that same role without getting into that questionable territory. So now that we've talked about banned by name, let's talk about rifles. An AK rifle. This is a Zastava ZPAP M70, I believe is the specific model. I might at some point refer to this generally as an AK-47 or an AK or an AKM. I truly hope that the AK fanboys do not go too hard on me using the wrong word. Forget about it. This is for beginners. If you want to go join the AK files or r/AK47 and get real anal about it, please do so over there. Rifles. In the state of California, what can you get? You basically have two options, which I will describe shortly. You have fixed magazine. So for example, I have this comp mag, which is a system that it is a 10-round mag that is made to be fixed in the gun. Currently, I don't have it fixed in the gun because I'm going to have this gun configured as a featureless gun, which it is, but this is a comp mag. What this is an AK magazine that has a little tab right here that you can see there, a little nub. I pull down and it locks in place. What this allows me to do is open this little side door and I could put 10 rounds, just slide them right on in, close that up, and now I have spring tension pushing up. It'll cycle all 10 rounds, no bolt hold open. You go click for the 11th time. At this point, you know you're empty. Boom, dump more rounds in. Is the fixed magazine system for an AK practical for home defense or personal defense or freedom stuff? Not really. Is it actually a decent option for the range? Well, when I was sighting my gun in, I actually really liked this. It's easier to do this and just spoon a few rounds into it and just plop them in there than it is to load magazines because it saves your thumbs. I know you're going to say, oh, get stronger thumbs. But when you're shooting hundreds and hundreds of rounds in a day, you know, this is honestly, I would probably see myself taking this to the range for just sighting in or testing different groups or different ammo at different distances, because this is an easier system to work with than pressing rounds into a magazine. If all you're doing is bench shooting, or if you just want a system that's really easy, basically if you wanted to permanently install this fixed magazine system, let's just pop this open. You would pop the bolt out, pop the spring out, pop the bolt out. You've got your fixed mag. Inside there, there's a little tab in here that you just screw. One screwdriver with a little tab that I have separately. Boom. This gun is now fixed magazine. It would then not allow you to take the magazine out, making your gun legally fixed mag in the state of California, which is cool. You know, it's an option. Yeah, I know. You're all thinking about the 8-year-old girl that you saw on a video from Russia that could put one of these together faster. I don't care. I am not an AK person. I bought an AK because the ammo was cheap. So, we talked about fixed magazine. Fixed magazine is cool. It's an option. It allows you to have the features. So you would be able to have your pistol grip, your adjustable stock, your flash hider, your dong, or your vertical foregrip, a flare launcher. You know, you can have all of those features on your AK rifle if you have a fixed magazine, like the Comp Mag. I want to be very clear, Comp Mag was nice enough to send this out to me for testing, for example, because personally, I don't know if I would have spent my own money on it because I knew that I wanted to go featureless, but it is an actual good option, and I wanted to share this with you all because it's a solid system. If you truly want an AK rifle in the state of California and having it be a defensive firearm, I would recommend going featureless, which this gun is here. What I have on the back here is called a AK Hammer Battle Fin. The AK Hammer Battle Fin is a simple system that works with basically any pistol grip. You basically just loosen up your pistol grip real loose, you slide this little fin in here, tighten this pistol grip back down, and now you can no longer wrap your thumb around the back or anywhere in here, and you just grip it like this, which isn't that bad. They have little thumb support sections here that you can use as well, which when I do a full review on this gun and how I have it set up, I will discuss that in more depth. But basically, when it comes to AKs, if your AK has a fixed stock, the hardest part to work around when making it compliant is the pistol grip. And, you know, a $20 fin from AK Hammer, which that might be the wrong price, but I think it's about $20, is an excellent option. Most AKs that you're going to see on the shelf are probably going to have the fin, or it's going to be one of the tactical versions with the comp mag on it. So if you want the one with the adjustable stock, with the flash hider, with the dong, get a comp mag. If you want a truly defensive ready range plinker, or if you have a bunch of your Freedom Week magazines, your 30, 40 drum mags, whatever it is, anything over 10 rounds, go featureless. Because if you go with a fixed mag system, in addition to the fact that you can't easily remove them, you can only have 10 round mags. Kind of unfortunate, but one of the definitions of an assault weapon for a rifle is a semi-auto centerfire rifle that has a fixed magazine with a capacity of over 10 rounds. Rather unfortunate. So for me, when it comes to AKs, I'm definitely a featureless guy. I just rock that mag in there, take it in, take it out, very easy. 30 rounds, reload, just, you know, press that little lever, you got another mag in there. So for me, featureless is the way to go for rifles. I talked about rifles, the easy part. I know, we're about 10 minutes into the video, and that was the easy part. When it comes to pistols in the state of California, it gets a lot more difficult, specifically with AKs. Well, in my opinion, AK pistols in California, probably not worth it. To start with, you're not going to be able to go featureless. The definitions for an assault weapon for a pistol are different. For the average person that's going to be watching this video, when it comes to AK pistols, like a little mini Draco, the only option you have to legally make that gun legal in the state of California, and not just acquiring it from another state illegally and bringing it back and not telling the state, which I don't care if you do, but not legal, comp mag or any other fixed mag system that only holds 10 rounds. In addition to not being able to go featureless and being limited to fixed mag with 10 rounds, you got to worry about the safe handgun roster in the state of California. And unfortunately, while Franklin Armory has several AR-15 pistols on the California handgun roster, there are no AK pistols on the California handgun roster. So you're most likely not going to be finding any manufacturer that has a semi-auto AK pistol that's available. So your only true option to get one would be get a fixed mag AK that was brought in from someone out of state that registered it when they moved here, or from a law enforcement officer that maybe bought a fixed mag AK because they are exempt from the handgun roster and later decided they didn't want it anymore. And unfortunately, when that happens, because of the laws in the state of California, it's a seller's market. Expect to pay at least $2,000 for a gun that should cost less than $700. So for me personally, AK pistols, not a viable option for most people. It gets almost a little bit weirder when it comes to semi-auto shotguns or AK shotguns, like a Saiga 12 or whatever specific model it is that you're looking at. An AK shotgun. So let's read to you the definition of an assault weapon for a shotgun. A semi-auto shotgun that has both of the following. Now, if your Saiga has been plugged off, I know they make some that plug off the gas tube and it makes it bolt action, meaning you got to cycle it on the right-hand side every single time. Personally, I wouldn't be a fan of that, but if you have a semi-auto shotgun that has both of the following, a folding or telescoping stock and a pistol grip, you can't do that. So you're either going to have the stock pinned or put a fixed stock on it if you have the pistol grip, or put a grip fin on it with an adjustable stock. But you can't have both. You can have one of the two, but not both on a semi-auto shotgun. Now, if you have a semi-auto shotgun that takes magazines, like any standard magazine that's a shotgun, so like your Saiga 12 10-round shotgun, if the magazine is not fixed in place, that's an assault weapon, meaning that you need to have some sort of comp mag, but I'm not aware of any system that's like this where you can just funnel rounds in for the 12-gauge Saiga shotguns. If something like that exists, feel free to let me know. But for the most part, if you're looking to do a Saiga 12 or a shotgun like that in the state of California, your best bet is to have it have one of the plugs in the gas tube. As far as I'm aware, there might be other options, but from what I've seen, the best option people have mentioned, you plug off the gas tube, it's no longer able to fire semi-auto, so you pull the trigger, rack it, pull the trigger, rack it, pull the trigger, rack it. Not the fastest, but it's one of those things that, from what I hear, people use it as a means of, when they have it in the state, they put the plug in. When they leave the state of California, they take the plug out, and it's a very fast process. I'm going to kind of leave it at that, and you can do with that information as you please. So let's say you find an AK on the internet. How do you actually get it? How do you get it in the state of California? Because you'll probably notice in your searches for AKs that many of them don't look California compliant when they're listed online. Well, I want to actually talk about how I actually got my Zastava Z-Pat, because it's very relevant. When I found this gun online, it had the adjustable stock, it had the pistol grip on it, and it had the polymer furniture on it. I wanted to get that gun, but the company that I bought it from was not selling it in a California compliant configuration. So what did I do? Well, I bought one of these, or actually I had sent one of these comp mags. I sent this to a company called New Frontier Firearms in Las Vegas, Nevada. I paid them $75. I had that AK that I originally bought it from sent to New Frontier Firearms. I had the comp mag sent to them. They installed the comp mag. They shipped it to me and did all the work for $75 total. They shipped it to an FFL near me. The gun was legal because it was fixed magazine. I could not take this mag out. I got it home. I brought it home. I put the fin on it. I put the fixed stock, and then I took the comp mag off. Would it technically have been easier maybe to send them the fin and send them all the furniture? Maybe, but you can do that. So let's say you find one that looks like this without the fin. Same thing. You can go to AK Hammer, have this fin sent to a company like New Frontier Firearms in Las Vegas, Nevada, have your AK sent to them. You pay them the $75 FFL middleman fee, I believe it's called, on their website, and you're all good. There are some other services online that do the same thing. New Frontier Firearms is not the only place that does this. Wow, I look so sweaty. These lights that I have in my room are so hot. I apologize profusely. This video's gone on too long. I'm sorry. But you can use any other service online that offers that service. The reason I chose New Frontier Firearms is because, one, I had heard good things about them previously. It was only $75 including shipping, so I just sent them the parts. If I wanted to have them acquire the parts, they could have done that for an additional fee, but since CompMag sent this out to me, you know, it was just easier for me to spend the $5 on shipping it over to Nevada. They installed it, sent the gun out to my FFL, and it was all good. Many online sellers like Atlantic Firearms or other big ones, they do actually sell them and will convert for you. But because the tumultuous times we live in right now, I chose the route of, after waiting weeks and weeks and weeks, waiting for one of my preferred manufacturers or sellers online to get them in stock. I just found the first place that had it available after a few weeks. I ordered it. I paid for it to be sent to New Frontier. The middleman service converted it, sent it to my local FFL. I picked it up after the 10-day wait, and now I have my AK. Like I said, it's unfortunate that Californians have to jump through the hoops because of the elected officials and what they've imposed upon us. Whether you comply with the law, I don't care. For many people, it's just easier to get the gun in a legal configuration and then, you know, do whatever you want in your own freedom in your own home. I'm not going to be the one that's there if you get caught. You know, just be safe, be smart. If you're going to break the law, don't be stupid. You know, I'm not saying to break the law, but if you choose to, I think it would be pretty good advice to say, don't be dumb. But you guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. If you guys want to see a review on this Z-Pap anytime soon, let me know down in the comment section below. I've only put some rounds through it, so I don't really want to give my opinion on it yet. So far, though, the rivets look good. The gun physically functions. I didn't have any issues with it, but I don't want to really give any strong opinions about it yet. I'm not much of an AK guy. I think that was probably pretty evident from certain points in this video. I like this gun, but I'm an AR guy. Owning this is not what I'm used to. AKs have character, and I think my opinions on AKs could be a video of its own, but thank you for tuning in. If this was your first time checking out one of my videos, I really appreciate you watching to the end. If it's not the first time, I appreciate, like always, that you've stuck around this far. You know the drill. Hit like, hit subscribe, notifications. You're probably not going to get notifications anyway because YouTube hates me, but it is what it is. Thank you to everyone that supports the channel. I really appreciate all your support. My entire city is on fire right now, and I'm just doing this video to kind of distract myself from the impending doom that we all face. Thank you, California. Very cool. Peace, folks.